So today I just want to wrap up the unit with a couple other interesting applications of sound waves. One being sonar and the other being ultrasound. Now there's many different applications of sound waves that we could talk to you about, but we are limited in time, and so I selected two of my favorites. Sonar you might have heard of before. It's actually kind of a smushed together abbreviation of a phrase. So sound, navigation, and ranging put together makes our word sonar. It uses the speed of sound in water, which roughly is about 1,500 meters per second. A pulse or a ping is sent out and bounces off an object and returns. And in doing so, we can figure out how far that object is away. So the return time tells us the object's distance. The sonar ping, if you've ever watched movies with submarines, it sounds just like this. So it's sending that out and measuring how long it takes to come back. So just to kind of give you an example of how that's sort of calculated, if a sonar ping is released, travels to the bottom of the ocean, and then bounces back in a total of 4 seconds, how deep is the ocean? So the object that we're interested in here is just the bottom of the ocean. So just to recap, we know that the speed of sound in water is about 1,500 meters per second. We know the time it takes for the ping to travel all the way down and back, and that is 4 seconds. We're actually going to use this speed, distance, time equation from our first unit in physics to figure this out. But really, the variable we're interested in is a distance, or the depth of the ocean. So we're going to rearrange the equation to solve for d. Distance is speed times time. So when you plug in our numbers, 1,500 meters per second times 4 seconds, we would get an answer of 6,000 meters. However, we do need to cut that distance in half because the question asks for the depth of the ocean, and we have to realize that the ping went all the way down to the bottom of the ocean and back. So the depth then would have to be 3,000 meters. So that's how sonar is used, and it's really an interesting technology. Now I'm a little biased, and ultrasound is my favorite. Partly because I've had babies before, but also my husband does ultrasound guided injections as a sports medicine physician, and so he's doing different things with ultrasound pretty much on a daily basis. But first of all, let's define what it is. Ultrasound is sound waves, but it's sound waves that have frequencies higher than what we can actually hear. So think 20,000 hertz or more. Ultrasound imaging is used in medicine. It's sending short pulses of energy that reflect off internal structures, and those structures give off different levels of brightness. The reflected pulses are converted to images on computers, and so that's how we get the cool ultrasounds that we have. This one up here happens to be an ultrasound of twins in utero, and pretty early on. And then this one, you can actually convert a two-dimensional ultrasound to a 3D just to get kind of a cool image like this. This is actually one, baby's probably soon going to be born here, but he's picking his nose in utero, so that's pretty cool. Actually, you'll learn, someday if you have children, that these types of ultrasounds, although they're neat, they're not really used for diagnostics in any way. It's just for fun for the parent. It's really kind of our more classic ultrasound that can tell us more information about structures and what's going on if development is looking good. These more three-dimensional ones are just for fun. I wanted to show you just a couple things of how it works. Bear with me, this lady talks a little bit slow, but I like how she summarizes it.
The heart of most ultrasound systems is a device called a transducer, which uses an array of piezoelectric crystals. A piezoelectric crystal vibrates when an electric signal is applied, producing high-frequency sound pressure waves, which we call ultrasound. More importantly, this type of crystal can also work in reverse. It can produce electrical signals when it detects high-frequency sound pressure waves. When a transducer directs ultrasound waves into the body, they pass right through the skin and into the internal anatomy. As the waves encounter tissues with different characteristics and densities, they produce echoes that reflect back to the piezoelectric crystal. This happens more than 1,000 times a second. Returning echoes are converted to electric signals, which a computer converts into points of brightness on the image, corresponding to the anatomic position and the strength of the reflecting echoes. A medical transducer contains a large array of crystals, which allow it to make a series of image lines that, together, form a complete image frame, called a sonogram. In addition, all the crystals are repeatedly activated many times in such a way that a complete image frame is formed around 20 times per second, so that real-time motion is displayed in the ultrasound image.
Now that real-time motion is really cool. Basically, they can give you a video of your baby in utero. And so I actually have one of those I wanted to show you. This was from a while back in my pregnancy. I don't know if it was like 6 months on maybe, but they actually caught my son yawning. So take a look at this. He kind of yawns and turns over. I'll play it again. So cool. And I just wanted to note too that ultrasound isn't just used for babies. I mentioned that it's used in a lot of different diagnostic procedures. So someday, if you ever have a bum knee and you need it to feel better, a lot of times they'll give you a cortisone injection or something like that. And so this is kind of what that might look like if you're in the doctor's office and you just need to be awake and get your injection done. They'll also use a transducer as well. So just a quick clip here.
The transducer is adjusted so it is centered over the suprapatellar bursa. The needle is inserted in the skin just proximal to the transducer, opposite the orientation marker. The needle is slowly advanced to lie in plane to the transducer beam and is seen as a bright, hyperechoic linear structure. The needle is slowly advanced under direct ultrasound visualization until the tip is seen to lie within the bursa, where the injection or aspiration can be done.
Don't worry about knowing all the technical stuff about that. I just thought you'd be interested to see real life applications of sound waves that maybe someday you'll use in some of your jobs. So that wraps up the video. I will have a couple short questions to follow up. Thanks for watching.